can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I feel like $100,000.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Dr. Jeremy Wise here, founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs like the founders of P90X, Atari, Mark Devine from SealFit, and many more, and how they overcome big challenges in life and business. Our sponsor today is Rise 25, which I co-founded with my business partner, John Corcoran. Rise 25 we create 100% outsourced VIP special events or mini conferences for software companies or conference organizers. We basically bring together their highest level customers to help them connect and collaborate so that they can get their business to the next level. And what it does is it helps them get more referrals, increase retention with their highest level customers, and get more engaged new customers. So we do them all over the country. We just did them in Chicago. We've done them the past year or two in Austin. We did a barbecue tour. You appreciate that, Mike. Santa Barbara, San Diego, New York, Sonoma, Las Vegas, and many more. So if your company sees the value of bringing your highest level customers together to connect and collaborate, go to rise25.com and email us, and we'll see if your community qualifies. And I want to give a big thank you to Kevin Dave, founder of Glider.io, for introducing me to today's guest. I'm very excited. We have Mike McKim, co-founder of Cuvee Coffee. Cuvee Coffee roasting company has provided independent coffee houses and coffee enthusiasts with sustainable artisan blends, single origin, and estate coffees. And I couldn't believe this, Mike, because you look really young, since 1998. It seems like forever ago. He also is a board chairman at the nonprofit Operation Supply Drop that supports today's active duty military and their families. Cuvee is a nationally recognized specialty coffee roaster with its roots firmly established in Texas. And Cuvee Coffee and their cold brew can be found at CuveeCoffee.com. It can also be found at Whole Foods, H-E-B, Central Market, Target, and soon to be limited Safeways. Mike, thanks for joining me.
Jeremy, thanks for having me.
People always love to hear different tools or software people use to run their business. What are some things you use on a daily or weekly basis? I was just looking at the website. I don't know what type of platform you use. What are some of the things you use to run the business?
Well, the website, thank goodness Kevin is in charge of that. So He's doing a total digital overhaul for us. We actually sell a lot of coffee online on our website, even though it's a crappy website and it's not intuitive and the shopping cart kind of sucks. And so we're redoing that, which I think we can increase revenue tenfold online just with somebody smart handling that. Man, I'm sorry. What was the original question?
Are there any tools or software you use?
Yeah. So for the coffee bar, we use Slack for communication, which is a great tool because it pops
Slack
up on my phone when somebody sends me a message. And then here on this side of the house, we use a really cool cloud-based platform called Cropster. And Cropster is a software that allows us to track our green coffee inventory. It allows us to keep track of all of our roast profiles, and then we can take those coffees, bring them into the lab, taste them, put all our tasting notes in, and that way everything's synced together.
That's cool.
Yeah. So from a consistency and quality control standpoint, that tool is massive.
Love it.
Really like that program.
I always ask, Mike, first of all, thank you for doing this. I know you have a million things going on. It's really valuable to hear your lessons and stories. I always ask, since it's Inspired Insider, what's been the lowest moment, and then on the flip side, what's been a really proud moment? What's been a low moment that you had to push through?
My lowest moment, and it's such an easy question, and it's a story that just I hate it every time it comes up. But my lowest moment was I was, basically in between. It was after I quit college at Kings Point, or left, failed out, whatever. Man, I had no idea what I was going to do. I felt like such a loser, for not being able to push through that. And then I took a job delivering pizzas, and the guy that was the driver on shift the same time I was on medication for audio hallucinations. And I would stand back there and talk to this guy, Kenny, and that was a dark time for me, man. I just felt so bad about myself. So that was by far my lowest point.
How do you deal with that? Like, get out of that funk? I mean, it seems right now, looking back, it seems like right now in this time, oh yeah, I just kind of, you're in a good place, right? But then you weren't, so it's a different story when you're in the situation.
Yeah. I think this is something I try and teach my sons, is the power of networking. And I didn't realize it back then, but just because of people I had met, people that I knew, friends that I had, somebody helped me get a job getting out of the pizza joint and getting into AT&T and doing telemarketing. Right, so that was my introduction to sales, which is, that's pretty much what I've done the majority of my adult life now, is sales. So I think, to answer your question, I think it was the network that helped drag me to that.
Yeah.
And then I'm also, just in general, I'm not one to throw myself a pity party. Like, maybe I'll let myself feel sorry about something for, a brief moment, but then I'm like, okay, I gotta get out of this on my own.
Yeah. Yeah. That's powerful. The network, if someone's in a bad place, they could call someone that they trust, or that they, could help them, pull them out, or maybe slap some sense into them. So what about the proud moment? What's been a proud moment in the journey?
Man, there's been a lot. I'm always proud when somebody has worked for us for a while, and then they come to me because they got bit by the entrepreneurial bug, and they want to go out and start their own business, whether it's a coffee business, a coffee shop, a coffee roasting business, or something totally different. That always makes me feel proud. Man, when we built this 4,000 square foot facility, before we did this little, ceremony, me and my wife and the guy that was pouring the slab, and, he let me put the shovel in the dirt and take the first scoop of dirt out. And I just remember just tears streaming out of my face that, wow, this is actually going to be a thing. This is going to happen. I think that was super cool.
So it was created out of nothing. There was nothing there before. Nothing.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, man, another one. So I have two sons. One will be a senior in high school this year. The other one, he just finished up his first year at the United States Merchant Marine Academy.
Oh,
so
wow.
he made it further than I did already. But the fact that he came home from a high school college fair and said, I think I want to go to Kings Point. And I was like, what? That's crazy. Sorry.
It's like phone a friend. We'll bring him on.
Yeah. So that was another, on a personal note,
Yeah.
that's a super one for me.
What sparked that, you think? Was it stories from you? Was it? I mean, it sounds like you were surprised. It's not like you were pushing him to do that.
I absolutely wasn't, man. I try and, I understand, and I think a lot of us go through the same thing. The one person we listen to least in life as young males is usually our father. At some point, we think we know more than them, and whatever they say is dumb. You just do the opposite. So I try never to force my boys to do anything. I just try and give them advice and let them make their own decisions. So yeah, when he came home and said, "Hey, I want to go to a Federal Service Academy. I want to go to Kings Point," I was like, "Well, all right, I'll help you any way I can." And
what was his reasoning?
That's a good question. Connor he's always wanted to take a different path than his peers. So, living here in Austin, Texas, when everybody else was playing football or baseball, he was like, "I think I want to play ice hockey." It's like, ice hockey? What? That's weird.
It goes with cold brew.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I think that he's always wanted to take a different path, and that's probably the reason he went this direction.
That's cool. Mike, what's Operation Supply Drop? I know we talked about it in the very beginning.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, Operation Supply Drop is a nonprofit that does a couple things. Kind of the meat of the program and the introduction to the Operation Supply Drop program is we send care packages to deployed troops, and those care packages consist of gaming consoles, controllers, and video games. That's how people get introduced to Operation Supply Drop. And then with cool. A lot of partnerships with people like Microsoft and Starbucks and folks like that, Google, we have a lot of programs and training and a community built for people when they transition out of the military and back into civilian life. Because, I think everybody understands now that, when you're in a military environment, you have a tribe. When you're on a sports team, you've got a tribe or whatever. And then, when you're taken out of that tribe, sometimes you can be a little bit rudderless. So, being able to help people as they transition back to civilian life that's the second part and probably the most important part of Operation Supply Drop.
What helps ease that? It sounds like even for you, it's a really, really difficult transition. I imagine it's like structured, then you go to something completely a different world, essentially.
Yeah, I think. Yes, so there is that. I mean, your day is pretty much planned for you. So there's not a whole bunch of planning involved. And then the other part is I think it's tough because when you spend time in the military, everybody kind of thinks and acts similar. And then you get out of the military, you get into a civilian job, and you're like, man, why don't these people think like everybody else that I used to work with? Well, because, a lot of them weren't in the military, so they don't think. And you go through this struggle. You're like, man, well, if they would just understand, if they would do it the military way, they would. And really, it's like, well, no, you're not in the military anymore. You need to transition back to civilian life, not try and make civilian life more military-like. I think that's probably one of the biggest hurdles that a lot of people have to overcome.
Yeah. Mike, I want to be the first one to thank you. This has been great. Everyone should check out CuveeCoffee.com. It's CUVEE coffee.com. Where else should we point people towards online or anywhere else?
Well, all the social platforms, everything is at Cuvee Coffee. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that sort of stuff.
Cool. All right.
And then anybody that wants to connect with me, I'm just at Mike McKim.
Great. Thank you, Mike, again. Fantastic.
Yeah, thanks,
Everyone
Jeremy.
check out CuveeCoffee.com and try out their cold brew and their nitro hemp oil cold brew.
Perfect.
All right.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, like life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I'm feeling like 100 grand.